There was a time when summer days felt endless. The air was thick with the smell of freshly cut grass. Sprinkler water hit the sidewalk, and somewhere in the distance, you'd hear it. The high, tinny chimes of the ice cream truck drifting down the block. For kids of the 70s and 80s, that sound wasn't just a call to buy a treat. It was the soundtrack of childhood. Today, we're looking at 10 things you'd only hear from the ice cream truck in the 70s and 80s. 1. The call of "Pop Goes the Weasel." Long before fancy jingles, many trucks blasted simple nursery tunes, like "Pop Goes the Weasel," played on scratchy, mechanical music boxes wired to loudspeakers. The sound carried across neighborhoods. For kids, that tune meant one thing: ice cream was near. Today, most trucks use electronic jingles or pre-recorded songs. But back then, the rough, winding melody was enough to send kids racing for quarters. 2. "Stop me and buy one" signs. Many trucks in the 70s displayed bright, hand-painted signs with slogans like "Stop me and buy one." The phrase was a holdover from earlier good humor trucks in the 1950s. It wasn't just marketing, it was an invitation. Drivers shouted it out the window, waving kids over like an old friend. As franchises modernized and branding became uniform, those folksy catchphrases disappeared. 3. The bell-ringing man. Some trucks didn't have music boxes at all. Instead, drivers rang brass handbells out the window. The jingling carried through suburban streets, echoing like a call to church. Kids who grew up in smaller towns especially remember this sound. By the late 80s, the bell-ringing driver was mostly gone, replaced by louder amplified jingles that reached farther across sprawling suburbs. 4. Good Humor Man greetings. In the 1970s, the Good Humor Man was more than just a driver, he was a local celebrity. Wearing a crisp white uniform and cap, he greeted kids by name and handed out bars with a smile. Parents trusted him, and kids adored him. But as corporate ice cream chains grew and independent vendors took over, the days of the uniformed Good Humor Man faded into memory. 5. Shouts of "Bomb Pop." Bomb Pop. Vendors knew their audience. Sometimes they'd lean out the window, shouting the names of favorites like "Bomb Pop" or "Push Up Pop." It wasn't just a sales pitch. It was a chant that got kids buzzing in line, clutching their coins. By the late 80s, corporate trucks relied more on glossy menus plastered to the side, and the sing-song sales cries slowly went quiet. 6. The crackle of a tinny speaker. The technology was simple: a music box hooked up to a loudspeaker on the roof. The result? A sound that was cheerful but slightly distorted, like it was coming from another world. It gave the ice cream truck an almost magical, dreamlike quality. As digital sound systems improved in the 90s, the imperfect charm of those tinny speakers faded away. 7. Catch me if you can. Drivers. Some drivers had a playful streak. They'd slow down just enough for kids to chase the truck, laughing as the whole block gave chase with nickels and dimes clutched in sweaty palms. Parents didn't worry, it was part of the game. Today, with stricter safety rules, you'd never hear a driver teasing kids to run after the truck. But back then, it was pure summer fun. 8. Neighborhood nicknames. Every block had its own ice cream man, and many earned nicknames from the kids. Mr. Choco Taco, the Popsicle Guy, or simply Ice Cream Joe. Drivers often embraced the names, calling them out proudly as they rolled in. As companies franchised and drivers rotated routes, that personal connection faded, and so did those playful nicknames shouted across yards. 9. Last call before dark. In the long evenings of summer, drivers sometimes made a final pass, shouting out, "Last call before dark." It was the cue for kids to run out one more time, barefoot on the warm pavement, before the day slipped away. Nowadays, with curfews and noise complaints, you rarely hear ice cream trucks after sunset. But those twilight calls are etched into memory. 10. The sound of quarters clinking. Before debit cards and phone payments, the ice cream truck was a cash-only world. You'd hear kids running with coins jangling in their pockets, or moms digging through kitchen jars to hand over a few quarters. The sound of change hitting the driver's hand was almost as satisfying as the treat itself. As cash faded from daily life, so did this small but unforgettable soundtrack of summer. The ice cream truck wasn't just about dessert. It was about community, childhood, and the little moments that stitched summers together. These sounds might be gone, but if you close your eyes, you can almost hear them again. Thanks for taking this nostalgic trip with us. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments. What sound do you remember most from your neighborhood ice cream truck?